Hello and welcome back to the weekly Roundup podcast for the Nature Place. It was a great week of camp here for week 4. And before we get started, let me set the scene for all of our listeners out there to where we are recording today. It's Friday, July 25th, and we are recording live from the gorgeous pond. We're set up in the corner near the deep end. The pond has beautiful clear pool water. It's a beautiful, sunny, and warm day. Really no cloud in the sky. And we're having a great conversation about making waves and all of the different fun things that happened at camp this week. So, friends, how was your week 4?
It was an amazing week, actually.
It was a great week so far, honestly.
Been having a good time here at camp.
So, friends, how was your week?
My week was great, honestly. My name is Sebastian. I've been at this camp for 12 years so far, and I'm an assistant activity leader, so I help around everywhere, and I help facilitate activities and trips going on in the week so far.
I've had a wonderful week here. My name is Beans. I am an activity leader. I run the archery program. I do a little bit of mucking, and then I also do our on-sites and almost overnights here at camp.
This week happens to be one of my favorite weeks at camp because we go camping at Cedar Pond campsite in Harriman State Park. I am Scott, and I'm the director of programming.
Welcome back, Scott.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I've been going back and forth all week to one of my favorite places to be, at the Cedar Pond campsite, where we go canoeing and overnight camping and have a beautiful campfire on the lake. And I get to do that in the evening, and then I come back and do camp the rest of the day until I get to go again in the afternoon.
All right, so as our listeners remember, Scott actually was on the inaugural, very first Nature Place podcast, the full version that we do when camp is not in session. And, we are joined by some serious long-timers here at the Nature Place. So it was Making Waves week. Friends, did we make any waves this week?
I mean, yeah, we made some waves everywhere. We made communication, and we just had fun all around, honestly. We made friendships, everything, honestly.
We were making some great waves in the pond today. We were making a river flow in the pond, and people got to float down it. It was really a lot of fun.
And then we also made a wave at Morning Share this morning as part of our skit. Every week of camp, we have a themed skit that runs the entire week about the theme of our week. It was making waves. Our poor pond was dry, and they quested to get the pond hydrated again, and really it was all about making the wave to fill up the pond again. So it was a great morning skit. But let's talk a little bit about the campouts. So this week started with our kind of like our last official on-site overnight. Beans, you want to talk a little bit about what on-sites are, and also a little bit about the almosts that we started doing this week?
Yeah, so our on-site overnights are a really magical experience that our campers get to do. They come in and they do a full day of camp, and then we come pick them up around 4:15, 4:30, and we walk them over to Mary Daly Field, which is where we stay for the night. We teach them how to build tents and then how to collect proper firewood for the fires. I'd like to give them like a little bit of free time to do some games and things like that. And then we eat dinner and we light the fire. We sing some songs and we do a rosebud thorn, which for those of you who don't know, rosebud thorn is where you discuss your rose, which is something that you enjoyed about the day or the week. Your bud is something that you're looking forward to, and your thorn is something that didn't go quite as well as you had hoped for the day. And then we put the kids to bed. We teach them about sustainability, and then we wake up the next morning and they go into a full day of camp.
So Beans, like my best memory of our last on-site overnight from this year. I was walking out. It was Group T. I was walking out to say hi and check in, and the fireflies were all over the field. It was just dusk, so it was lighting up the entire field. It was like one of these beautiful, like, we live in the mountains kind of day, and it was getting really cool. And the fire was just like lighting. You were just lighting the fire or something like that. And it was just this most incredible kind of like scene that you had out there. It's pretty special. And Scott, you know, we always talk about the magic of Cedar Pond, but what makes Cedar Pond so magical?
Well, especially this week, it was really nice. We had two groups of younger campers that had never been there before, and they just were awe-inspired. It's just an amazing place. I can't imagine a better campsite than Cedar Pond campsite. It's a beautiful wooded campsite, but right by the water's edge are these rock ledges where we can have our campfires at night, and we like to talk about the elements of life, the earth, the air, the fire, and the water, and they're all right there. We're sitting on the earth, we're breathing in this beautiful mountain air, have the fire going and gazing out at the water. Everything's right there, and so we're just totally encapsulated in that world of the elements.
And it's like, you sit on the shoreline of that lake and you look out at the lake, and you could be anywhere in the mountains, right? You could be in Maine or New Hampshire or something like that. You wouldn't know that you're 45 minutes from the biggest population mass in America. It's truly a very special place. So we talked a bunch about camping. Let's finish talking about camping by on-sites. By almost overnights. So what's an almost overnight, and why are those special?
So our almost overnights are a program for the younger groups who are just not quite ready yet to stay away from home. It's the same sort of setup. We meet the group, around 4:15, 4:30. We walk them out. And the younger groups get to learn how to pitch a tent, and they get to collect a little bit of firewood. We build a little bit smaller of a fire this time because right when we light it, we do a little bit of songs, and if we have time, we do a rosebud thorn. But those campers get to leave around 7 and sleep in their own bed, and the programming just kind of is a build-up from, age 4 all the way to 14, where we start them off, and they're learning the steps necessary to stay away from home.
I dare say that the younger groups actually look forward more to their almost overnights than the older groups for the on-site, because it's their special thing. It's like they get to do something for the very first time, and they're totally jazzed by that. Mm-hmm. Okay, friends, so we just have a few moments left. Any other memories that stand out from week 4?
For me, I think a memory would be, honestly, how everybody communicates with each other, especially in the camp. Like for each group, everybody has their own friends. They have their own groups and everything like that, but they know how to hang out with each other. They know how to do certain things, and they know when sometimes they don't really cross the line. They just have fun with each other and make a lot of memories. And it's just cute seeing how every kid has their own memory and just learning to know what they like doing and what they like to do for fun. That's, for me, it has to be my recap for week 4.
Yeah, one great thing that did happen this week that we didn't mention yet in the camping department is we had our first 3-night, 4-day backpacking trip, and we haven't had one of those for quite a while. So that was kind of monumental that we're returning to the model that we used to do with the camping department, and it's great. It's really great, and they had such a successful trip.
Yeah, I think it was a great week, and getting to work with the kids is always a good time. In archery this week, we were playing a knockdown game, part of the programming to build them up to start shooting bows and arrows more effectively. And the campers always do really well, and I'm excited to see week 6 so that I can see how far they've come in their educational journey in archery.
Amazing. And we get ready to leaf no trace in week 5. I can't believe it's already week 5. The summer is flying by way too fast. Week 5, leaf no trace. We're going to do some more almost overnights. We got another week of residency up at Cedar Pond, Scott. And we're very excited because we get to welcome back for her annual appearance, Barefoot Janet and the Barefoot Zone programming next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, friends. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you next week for week 5, where we leaf no trace.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Great hearing everybody and talking to everybody.
Take care. Thanks again. Bye.